Okay, I think we're rolling again. Now the teenagers have you order up this red urethane stuff that's like $30, and their mounts are solid and have an aluminum post in the center. And they're round like a cupcake, and they're relatively easy to fill in. But for our purpose, this black urethane windshield sealant will work just fine. And you fill it in some good black, thick, inexpensive urethane. If you buy this in bulk, you can usually get it for under $10 a tube. You go to the local parts store and walk up to the counter and ask for a tube of urethane. They're going to stick you for 30 bucks. So you better buy it online and wait for it to arrive. Convenience costs. Anything done right is going to take a long time. Anything done in a hurry isn't going to last. So I've gone through some work to do these. Had to order the mounts, and then these plates. Well, a parts car had these plates in it for the 115 chassis. The 123, I've not even looked, but I know there are no plates on it. So we're going to fill this in with a tube so that the bolt that comes up through the bottom, I believe, on these cars, can come up through the bottom through the urethane and be filled in. We're going to make it solid too. Then you take your putty knife and just kind of pull it away, press out all the air, and fill it in. So for around $30 a mount, you won't hear those words, oh, your motor mounts are flattened out. What brings you into the shop for motor mounts is the fan blade is digging into the fan shroud, making all this noise. Now I filled in the drive shaft hanger mount also, and then a little bit for this plate. It's got a divot where somehow the rubber kind of impacted that. I think there was a bit of rubber in there too. The motor mount had flattened out and stuck to that for so long it became embedded. And put a little on here to make this flat. See, I've got 23 cars. That's why the place is a cluttered mess. And no helper. A helper means, can I have this and take it to the scrapyard? Can I borrow this tool? So you don't want a helper around, not these days. Especially with the plague going on. So you just kind of fill in that divot there. Then take the nice handy plate, place it on there, forever engine mount. And to get this stuff off your hands, you use diesel fuel. Then after you've cleaned your hands till they're all kind of a gray color with the diesel fuel, then you use laundry detergent and a scrub brush. Then after you do that, then you use regular hand soap. Reducer works well too, but reducer is expensive. And there you have it, forever engine mount. No more flattened out motor mount. So I hope you've learned something here today at Clutter Garage, where it's cluttered because we're busy working. Those immaculate, neat garages, they only have 1 or 2 cars. But when you're working on 4 cars at a time, every day, including Sundays, holidays, because you're completely abandoned with no family or friends, they cost money. That's how you afford 23 cars. So we're going to fill in this 123 mount the same way and then have just this tube to allow for the bolt that goes into the mount. Use up an entire tube, but I'd rather use it up rather than cap it off and come back. because you have to sit there and dig the screwdriver around in the tube to make it start again. So all you Mercedes people out there, especially you 123 owners, finally somebody figured out the problem with these blasted motor mounts. It's always the right one that's bad. That's the way the engine torques. It's to the right. So now it can torque all it wants. With this motor mount all filled in with urethane, one less problem to have to worry about. And the drive shaft hanger mount, you've got to take the exhaust system off on it. And for those of you who don't have a lift or a buddy with a shop, I used to have a buddy with a shop. That's almost it for that tube. Time to order a dozen more. Old cars really eat up the urethane. Because on Mercedes you have to put new rubbers around the windshield. So you put a layer of this urethane around the opening, then you put the rubber in to keep it from leaking. So there, I've got an access hole for my bolt with this plastic in here. If I need to sand it down, I will, but made it just a tad tall. Probably a hole there. I haven't even looked. I just got a brand new one and decided I wanted to use up this tube. I think I got one more new one over there for the other side. But it's that right one. The right one's always collapsed. So your 107, your 126, 107 uses these, I believe. And 126 and 123 use these style with the hole in the center. And there, by the time I need this, it'll be on the shelf and it'll be ready to go. Filled in with urethane. And this will stay in there because with it up against the metal, it's got nowhere to go. The urethane the teenagers are using, the stuff that's red, in 20 years it crystallizes into a powder and literally disintegrates. All those urethane racing mounts I had on my Sport Scirocco, the sway bars were literally laying there with a bunch of goo around the bar because they had completely disintegrated. Now we have a 123 mount in the nice black $6 urethane. No more flat engine mounts. Forever mounts for forever cars. And to make this easier, we'll find a piece or two of something to stick in the holes so if it oozes, it won't seal up the holes. Cut it out. Just round metal objects you can kind of drop in the holes. Screwdrivers, those work too. So these plates shift because everything does when you walk away. Get stuck in the holes. And there you go. Filled in motor mounts.